Hello and welcome to the 8-week radio workshop. My name is Sherri Allen and I am the teaching artist. All scripts are student written and student performed. It's winter 2024 and now on with the show.
Welcome to Bats in the Belfry by Sue Dixon. The characters for today's episode are the narrator and announcer, played by Lisa.
Eva Bat, an actress in horror films, played by Catherine.
Dan Bat, affable owner of Bat's Begun Exterminating Service, husband to Eva, played by Thomas.
Sally Bat, the Bat daughter, played by Anita.
Billy Bat, mischievous preteen son, played by Craig.
Eddie Bat, the precocious preteen prodigy child, played by Sue.
Rita, a friendly, sincere real estate agent, friends with Eva Bat, played by Susan.
Buddy the Broken Man, a middle-aged huckster, played by Craig.
Welcome to tonight's program, Bats in the Belfry. This show is brought to you by Borken Exterminators. And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hi, I'm Buddy the Broken Man. Do you tingle with termites, waltz with weevils, or minuet with mosquitoes? Then you gotta call the Broken Man. I'll toss those termites, wipe those weasels, and smash those mosquitoes like magic. Yes, sirree, bugs be gone magic. Look for Buddy Broken, the Broken Man, in your yellow pages.
Over 100 million Mexican free-tailed bats winter in northern and central Mexico and summer in central Texas. They roost in limestone caves, forming colonies. Free-tailed bats have resided in Austin since the city's founding in 1839. They were considered a pest until it was learned that each bat eats 600 to 1,000 insects per hour. Instead of fearing them, people began to embrace bat conservation. And now, we turn our attention to tonight's episodes of Bats in the Belfry. It's 1948, and the Bat family has been living in a cozy crevice in a football stadium for years. But now, the city is filling the crevices, and the Bat family is desperate to find a new home that satisfies the needs of the entire family. Come on, let's visit the Bat family in their crevice at the stadium.
Oh, I can't wait for my dear friend Rita to find us a new home. Oh, it's high time we moved out of this crevice and into a proper house with all these bats. Oh, how on earth can I learn my lines for the new DeMille film? Oh.
You're right, my dear. The stadium has been far too noisy, and lately we live right next to the cheerleaders' practice area.
Oh, Dad, you're embarrassing me. Can we find a place where I can have my own room?
Yeah, I made a place where I can post screens for my sisters without getting caught.
Can't deal with mediocrity. I hope we find a home that matches my genius personality.
Good evening, Bat family. Your friendly real estate agent's here to help. I've got some fantastic houses to show you today. Follow me, friends.
Wonderful. You are such a good friend. Thank you for helping us, Rita. Rita?
First house is a charming cave located near the park. It has plenty of space for everyone, and it's surrounded by beautiful, lovely fruit trees.
Fruit trees! That sounds delightful. All those fruit flies would be totally delicious.
Oh, a cave. Oh, dear Rita, I could lose myself in the darkness.
As if fruit trees are so basic. I need something more stylish, like a basic attic where I can practice my cheerleading.
This cave seems too damp for my taste. I need a dwelling that matches my wit and intelligence.
Yeah, and maybe a secret passage for me to sneak out at night. Just saying, just saying.
With the first house out of the pictures, the Bat family follows Rita to the second location.
And here we are. The second house is an old Victorian. If you hear rumors about it being haunted, pay no mind. This house is full of history and character.
Oh, how enchanting! I can already imagine myself sipping tea in the elegant parlor.
I could set up my exterminating equipment in the spacious basement. It would be perfect for my business.
Oh, please. This place is so cliche. I need something unique, like a rooftop garden where I can host drama club rehearsals.
Yes, and maybe a secret trapdoor so I can prank the neighbors. Think of the possibilities.
I know I'm only 9 years old, but this domicile is too stuffy for my psyche. I need a place that appreciates my brilliance. This just won't do.
So, with the second house not meeting expectations, the Bat family begins to lose hope. But Rita has one more surprise for them.
My dear Bat family, fear not. I have saved the best for last. An old church with a marvelous steeple. It'll make the perfect sleeping quarters.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Oh, look at that view. We can watch the moonrise from our new home.
Wow, this is perfect for my artistic flair. I can already see myself practicing my cheerleading under the moonlight. Rah, rah, sis boom ba.
And I just imagine the pranks we can pull on unsuspecting visitors.
Finally, a place I can appreciate because it's as brilliant as I am. I can't wait to squeak my witty comments up to the rafters.
And so the Bat family settles happily into their new home. Tune in next week, folks, for another episode of Bats in the Belfry, when the Bat family discovers the joys and the challenges of living in an old church. We hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. And remember, if you have pests, call Buddy the Borkin Man. Until next week, keep flying high.
Femme Fatale Frolics by Craig Leimkuehler. Characters, the announcer and narrator, the all-seeing observer, played by Thomas.
Sam Steele, hard-boiled detective, played by Craig.
Helen Hammond, Sam's fearless, plucky secretary, played by Catherine.
Veronica Valentine, the ruthless wife of Victor Valentina, the diamond merchant, played by Anita.
Max Shadow, underworld boss with an eye for the ladies. And Diamonds, played by Sherri.
Lola LaRue, a world-weary blues singer and Max's latest arm candy, played by Susan.
Carmen Noir, cunning, vengeful villainess, and ex-Mrs. Valentina, played by Lisa.
Fruity Trouble, a blonde bombshell with a taste for danger and shiny baubles, played by Sue.
It was a dark and stormy night in the City of Shadows. Our hero, Detective Sam Steele, sits behind a cluttered desk overflowing with regrets. He's just getting ready to head for Joe's bar for a nightcap when the intercom buzzes.
What is it, Miss Hammer? I've got a date with a glass of scotch, and I don't want to be late.
Sam, there's a woman here that insists on seeing you.
Tell her to pound sand, hit the bricks, whatever. I'm not taking on any new clients.
That's what I told her. I told her you didn't need any new clients. I even offered to take the case myself.
Miss Hammer, we've been over this before. You're my ex-partner's daughter. When he died, I promised I'd keep you out of danger. Being my secretary is bad enough. There's no way I'm letting you be my partner. This line of work is not for the fair sex. It killed your father.
Tell me something I don't know, Sam. And I have a first name. It's Helen. Every time I hear you say Miss Hammer, it sounds like I'm 12 years old. I'm a grown woman, and I can make my own decisions.
As Sam Steele and Ham Hammer discuss the finer points of their relationship, the mysterious client saunters past Helen, opens the door to Sam Steele's office.
Hey, lady, you can't go in there.
Apparently she can, because she's standing right in front of me.
So you're the famous Sam Steele. I thought you'd be taller. Nevertheless, I need your services, and I never take no for an answer.
Look, if you're recruiting for a basketball team, I'm afraid you've got the wrong guy.
I'm here because I need you to find my husband, Victor Valentina, and I fear foul play may be involved.
Victor Valentina. Why does that name sound familiar?
Because he's one of the biggest diamond merchants in the city.
Miss Hammer, Helen, you know these client meetings are supposed to be private. Eavesdropping on the intercom is highly unprofessional.
Rather than scold her, you should give the kid a raise. She's right. My husband is one of the biggest diamond merchants in the city, and now he's missing with a shipment of diamonds. This is just after he was supposed to meet with Mr. Max Shadow at the old abandoned warehouse.
Max Shadow.
He's the big boss of the underworld in this city. Everyone knows that he loves the ladies, but he loves diamonds even more. The word on the street is that he recently kicked Carmen Noir to the curb to take up with a red-hot blues singer, Lola LaRue, who performs tonight at Joe's bar. And Carmen is none too pleased with the recent turn of events.
Again with the eavesdropping, Miss Hammer. And as for you, Mrs. Valentina, there's an organization for people in your situation. They're called the police.
The police? Are you serious? My husband lives on both sides of the line. I need someone who knows the underbelly of the city. I need someone who can dance in the shadows and not stub their toe. I think that person is you. I will pay twice your normal fee.
Miss Hammer, I know you're still listening. Get up my dancing shoes. It's time to trip the light fantastic.
Meanwhile, tucked back in the shadows of Joe's bar in a private booth, we find Carmen Noir making plans with the notorious Trudy Trouble as they sip martinis. A blueprint of Max Shadow's penthouse is spread on the table like a pirate's treasure map.
Aren't we having fun? Another drink, bartender.
Keep them coming.
Yummy martini.
Is there any trouble over there?
All right already. You like your martinis extra filthy. Big deal. Even extra filthy. Now, can we get back to the plan?
It sounds simple enough. According to these blueprints, I can access Mac's penthouse through the skylight by crossing over the street on a high-tension wire from a building on the other side. I enter through the skylight on a trapeze. I then crack the safe, grab the ice, and we meet back at the old abandoned warehouse. It'll be like taking candy from a baby.
Good. This should teach that double-dealing scumbag that nobody dumps Carmen Noir for some songbird. Now, after the show, Lola LaRue will place her diamond necklace and the diamond brooch and the diamond bracelet back in the safe at Mac Shadow's penthouse. Then we make our move.
Unbeknownst to Carmen and her crew, Sam Steele has entered Joe's bar, his hands thrust deep in the pockets of his trench coat, his black fedora pulled down low. He shoulders his way through the smoke-filled room to a table near the stage, where Lola is wrapping up her set.
I got these low down blues wrapped up in my high shoes. The city's so cold, my heart's grown old, and my love's been sold.
Oh, yay!
Excuse me, Miss Steele. Miss LaRue. I'm Sam Steele. May I have a moment of your time?
Sure, Mr. Steele, but only if you buy me a drink. Making a Manhattan. There's something about a man in a black fedora that makes me want a Manhattan.
Sam flags down a waitress and places his order as Miss LaRue slides into a chair.
This shouldn't take too long, Miss LaRue. I've got a few questions I'd like to ask you.
You know, Sam, life hasn't been just a jazzed up melody for me. I've been singing the blues long before I stepped into this dive, and that stage is my only solace in a city that chews you up and spits you out like yesterday's gum. But every sultry note that escapes my lips carries a secret deeper than the Mississippi, buried under layers of sequins and silk. You see, beneath this glamorous facade, I'm just a dame who's been knocked around by the cruel hands of fate. The audience may think they know Lola LaRue, the heartbreaker with a voice like velvet, but darling, they don't know about the shadows that dance behind these weary blue eyes. Yeah, I've got a secret, a tale of love and betrayal that's as twisted as a saxophone solo in the dead of night. And each night I pour that secret into notes, letting the blues wash over me like a baptism of sorrows.
Lola, in this veil of tears and troubles we call life, you're not the only one who's had to dance with the devil. Right now, I'm trying to locate the husband of Veronica Valentina, one Victor Valentina, the diamond merchant. A little bird told me you might know where I might find him.
Do I look like the Bureau of Missing Persons? I never heard of the guy.
Strange, because that necklace, that brooch, and those bracelets all came from his store.
Just then, the heavy hand of Mac Shadow, the owner of Joe's bar, fell on Sam's shoulder. A former heavyweight boxer, his size would best be described as terrifying.
Mr. Steele, if Lola says she don't know nothing about the missing Mr. Valentina, she don't know. And neither do I. What I do know is it ain't healthy to be asking too many questions that don't involve yous. Now it's time for yous to make like a banana and split.
All right, I'm going. I can tell when I'm not wanted. But this isn't over yet. One way or another, I'm gonna find Victor Valentina.
And I think it is over. Unless you want to be pushing up daisies. And Lola, I think it's time to put those baubles back in a safe.
Oh, Maxie, baby, do I have to? Look how they sparkle.
Yeah, Lola. Put 'em back in a safe. Now. And Mr. Steele, you are leaving.
Couple of bouncers unceremoniously escort Mr. Steele out of the establishment and into the alley. He picks himself up and heads back to his apartment and then has a change of heart. Lola LaRue puts the diamonds back in the safe, unaware that Trudy's trouble would be liberating them a short time later. And Carmen Noir waits patiently at the old abandoned warehouse.
It's about time. I was getting worried. Did you get the ice?
Of course I got the ice. Look, I said it was like taking candy from a baby. Now, when do I get my cut? This baby needs to buy some candy.
Oh, you'll get your cut when I say you get your cut.
From out of the shadows steps Sam Steele. In his hand, a revolver.
You have to wait a long time for your cut. Hand over those diamonds. I'm returning them to their rightful owner.
And that rightful owner would be me. And a gun in my hand says there's a bullet in your future if yous do anything funny.
Masked Shadow, I wasn't expecting you.
Neither did my ex Carmen Noir. I spotted her in my club and followed her here, knowing she was up to no good. I got rid of the greedy Mr. Victor Valentina after he tried to squeeze me too hard. Now, hand over the goods.
Not so fast, tall, dark, and ugly. You may have bumped off my husband, but you didn't pay for those diamonds. So unless you want to eat hot lead, fork over those stones and prepare to meet your maker.
But how did yous know to come here now?
Because I remembered that the old abandoned warehouse was where my husband last met you. So I hopped on the bus and came here to look for clues.
But first, Mrs. Valentina, let me lighten you on your burden by taking those stones. I may dance in the shadows, but dancing with diamonds will make it easier.
Lola, baby, sweetheart. Oh, thank goodness you's here. She was gonna put me in a dirt nap.
It's fine with me. I'm just here for the diamonds, you poor old fool.
There's just one thing you overlooked. Me and my little friend.
Who in the wild are you? And where does you just get that Tommy gun?
That's Miss Hammer, my secretary, and that Tommy gun belonged to my ex-partner.
Those diamonds will go a long way to setting up my own detective agency.
Miss Hammer, what would your father say?
Good job, Helen. But don't worry, I'm not taking the diamonds. My father taught me well. I called the cops, and they'll be here in a moment. And if you're wondering, Sam, I tailed ya.
The important thing is now we can go grab a scotch and some scrambled eggs. I know this great dive bar.
And thus we close the drawer on yet another Steele file case. Tune in next week when we hear Sam Steele say,
Ah, scotch and scrambled eggs. Breakfast of champions. for Round the Bend, Where's the Baby by Craig Leimkuehler. Tonight our cast of characters are the professor, the folks in the narrator, telling all about the traditions of New Orleans and Cajun country, played by Craig.
Donald Ant Ringer, also known as Don, Mr. Don, hard-working head baker from Mackenzie's Pastry Shop, played by Thomas.
Henrietta Mackenzie, salt of the earth, owner of Mackenzie's Pastry Shop, played by Susan.
Catherine Mackenzie, Patsy's supportive younger sister, played by Catherine.
Bill Lumen, people-pleasing traveling salesman, played by Craig.
Sophie Smith, sympathetic health inspector from the New Orleans Board of Health, played by Lisa.
Ella Wright, heartless landlord, played by Sue.
Lucia Albright, den mother type, works for Crew of Iris, played by Anita.
Howdy y'all, and welcome back to the Bayou Radio Network's stories for Round the Bend. This program is brought to you by the fine folks at Louisiana Hot Sauce, the only hot sauce that puts the bite in your gumbo. But if there's one thing you don't want to put your Louisiana hot sauce on, and that's your king cake. About this time of year, from January 6th to Epiphany until Mardi Gras Day, people are enjoying king cakes. The king cake is a blend of coffee cake and a cinnamon roll. It's usually iced in yellow, green, or purple frosting to represent the Mardi Gras colors. Yellow for power, green for faith, and purple for justice. Often they are packed with fruit fillings or decadent cream cheeses. These cakes represent the three wise men who brought gifts to the baby Jesus. And hidden inside each king cake is a tiny plastic or porcelain baby. Tonight's story is how the baby has found its way into those king cakes. Our story begins uptown at Kansas Pastry Shop on Britannia. It's 1936. Owner Henry Mackenzie is explaining to Mrs. Ella Wright that her landlord, well, I'll let Henrietta do the talking.
Now you enjoy those rolls, Miss Myers, and be sure to tell your friends where you got 'em. You see, Mrs. Wright, business is picking up. I know we're a little behind in the rent, but if we could just have a little more time, I'm sure we could come up with the money.
That was the first customer you had in half an hour. At this rate, you won't have the money until my grandchildren have grandchildren. I'm sorry, but I can't wait that long. I got bills of my own. Unless I get the money by the end of the month, you are out of business.
But my sister is right. We just need a few more days to establish ourselves. Our head baker, Mr. Don Entringer, is just amazing. Oh, please don't shut us down.
I'm sorry, the business is business. Either you have the money or I will have to evict you. Good day, ladies.
Now, Kathy, don't get discouraged. I'm sure we can figure out some way out of this dilemma. Mr. Dunn, you got any ideas?
This time of year, everybody wants king cakes, but we need to figure a way to get people to buy even more king cakes. If we could get some of the carnival crews to buy our king cakes, that would be a big help.
And the rest of the day between a handful of customers, the three of them trying to think of ways to increase sales, but to no avail. But as they were getting ready to close up shop, a Miss Lucy Albright from the Crew of Iris comes into their shop.
Thank goodness you're still open. I'm Miss Lucy Albright from the Crew of Iris, and our girls have been working extra hard at getting the floats ready for the Mardi Gras, and I would like to reward them with some king cakes.
Well, you come to the right place. We can supply you with as many king cakes as you would like. How many you need?
I think a dozen would be enough, but there is one thing I would like with the king cakes.
Well, how about some cookies? We have some buttermilk drops or sugar cookies.
No, the king cakes will be enough. What I would like instead of traditional fava bean hidden that everyone hides inside the cakes, if you could come up with some sort of prize to hide in the cakes, I just know the girls would love it.
Ma'am, don't you worry your pretty little head about we'll come up with something that will amaze and delight your girls. I absolutely guarantee it. Now you have a good day, and I'll get to work on your order.
Well, as long as the king cakes will be ready by the end of the week.
We have it all under control. Now you have yourself a good day.
This sale will take care of all of our rent problem this month. Either of you have any idea what we can put in those king cakes?
I haven't the faintest notion, but there has to be something. Well, what about a marble?
No, that would be too easy to swallow by accident. Traditionally, the fava bean represented the baby Jesus. Whoever found it was king for the day. They switched it out for the real fava bean for a porcelain one, but I think Miss Albright wants something more special.
And so the Mackenzie sisters and Mr. Ringer racked their brains, but to no avail. Various ideas were brought forth and then rejected for one reason or another. It is now 2 days later, and time is not on their side. We are back in Mackenzie's pastry shop. They're engrossed in finding the perfect trinket to place in the king cakes for the crew of Iris. A nondescript man has entered the shop. He's eyeing the mouth-watering pastries on display.
What if we put a ring of some sort in the cakes?
That's going to be too expensive.
Another thing we need to consider, whatever we decide to put in the king cakes has to be approved by the Board of Health.
Excuse me. I'd like to get some chocolate turtles, please.
Oh, please forgive me. We were so wrapped up in our discussion that I didn't notice you. How many would you like?
That's okay. I can't help but overhear. Did I hear you were trying to figure out what to put in your king cakes?
Yes, the crew of Iris wants something unique in the cakes that they ordered.
Well, I just may have the answer you've been looking for. I'm a traveling salesman. As it happens, I'm in possession of several small porcelain baby dolls called frozen Charlottes. Originally, I'd gotten them from a toy store to sell dollhouses, but I bought too many, thinking it symbolized the baby Jesus much better than I fava bean.
Do you have one with you?
I sure do. And because it's porcelain, it won't be damaged when it's baking.
Mr. Dunn, what do you think?
I think this might be the answer we've been looking for. Small, but not too small. The only thing I'm worried about is getting in trouble with the Board of Health because we're putting a non-food item in with the cakes.
Leave that to me. My neighbor, Mrs. Sophie Smith, is on the Board of Health, and I'm sure she'd approve it. As a matter of fact, I will ask her to stop by later. Today, here's my card. Once she approves, and I'm sure she will, give me a call, and I'll bring all the frozen Charlottes you need, and at a price that won't break the bank.
Oh, that would be wonderful. Here are your chocolate turtles, and you can pay me when you bring the porcelain baby dolls.
And now, if there was some way to get people to buy more king cakes.
Well, I have an idea that just might work. Since most people serve their king cakes at parties or gatherings, what if whoever finds the baby is king or queen of the day, but they in turn have to buy a king cake for the next party or gathering?
I know. I can write a little note with each king cake. How whoever finds the baby is obligated to buy a king cake for the next party or gathering.
And it's all
For every king cake we sell, another will be sold. I like that idea.
Then it's all set. I'll return the frozen Charlottes tomorrow. Good day. Later that afternoon, Miss Sophie Smith arrives at the Kansas pastry shop.
Good afternoon. Hi, Mrs. Smith. I'm from the Board of Health, and my neighbor, Mr. Lohman, asked me to stop by here.
Don Estringer, the head baker from Mackenzie's pastry shop. Mackenzie and her sister just stepped out, but I can explain the situation. We are seeking to get approval to put frozen charlottes in our king cakes.
Oh, well, so what's wrong with putting in the fava beans like everybody else? And what in the world is a frozen charlotte?
Well, the thing of it is, the crew of Iris has ordered a dozen king cakes, but they wanted something unique instead of the usual fava bean. So we wanted to use these porcelain baby dolls from France called frozen charlottes. They're big enough they can't be swallowed accidentally, and they can be washed and sanitized before being placed in the cakes.
Oh, and it doesn't hurt the fact that Mr. Lohman knows that I am a member of the crew of Iris. Yeah, I believe we can find my way clear to approving these little frozen charlottes. I think my fellow crew members will be pleasantly surprised.
Just then, Henrietta and Kathy Mackenzie arrive back from their errands.
Ladies, this is Mrs. Sophie Smith from the Board of Health. She's the one Mr. Lohman mentioned.
Oh, thank goodness we just got back here in time.
Oh, there ain't no need to worry, Mr. Ettinger. Dawn explained the situation, and I have given my blessings. So you go on ahead and use those little frozen porcelain babies or frozen charlottes, as you all call them.
Oh, that is wonderful news. I'll call Mr. Lohman and we can get to work on those king cakes for the crew of Iris. Things are finally starting to look up.
And that is how it became customary to place a tiny baby doll in a king cake. And now the recipient is expected to purchase a new king cake for the next gathering. I'm going to have me a nice slice of king cake, and I hope I don't find that baby. Y'all be good, yeah? Happy Mardi Gras!